But we have nothing to go by. We need more than just faith, right?
I think faith is perfectly good thing to go by.
I spent a while trying to get this lady to realize that you can't use faith in order to determine the truth of something, because someone else can have faith that she's wrong, and how can we gauge who's right? And apparently she thinks faith is okay. And I pushed her, why do you think faith is okay? Well, as long as you believe in a God, faith is okay. So it makes no sense how these people work, but the important thing is to just expose the logic or the lack of application of logic in everything they say. And hopefully you'll plant a seed, or at least you'll get other people to think who are listening. It's very important that you at least try, even though you think she may not get it.
But you have to know what you're talking about.
How do you know the error is real?
We can break out a barometer and test it out. We know it's there, you know.
That's true.
So that's not the same thing. You know,
Well,
error is...
when I pray, or my spiritual barometer...
What is praying, though? Isn't that just like talking to yourself?
It's talking to God.
So her logic is such that you can't see God, and you also can't see air. So this is where a lot of these theists like to try to use analogies to argue for themselves. Analogies should only be used to help someone understand a point. It should never be used as content for an argument. But that's what she tried to do. Well, you know, you can't see air, but we can measure it. She goes, oh yeah, that's true. I can measure a God by talking to myself. How is that measuring any God? A lot of people talk to themselves, okay? It's not generally a good thing. So it's important to just expose that her analogy sucks balls, and she needs to do better.
How do you know it's talking to God?
Because I have faith that He's there.
Okay, so everything's based on you having faith in something. So someone else can have faith on all the opposite things of you that you have, but you think you're more right and not them.
I don't really think I understand the question.
Well, they can have faith that you're wrong and everything that you have faith in that you're right.
I think it just goes back to they're not putting their faith in God.
But you have to have something to show that God is the correct choice and not them, that what they have faith in. Because if they have faith that it's all wrong, isn't their faith just as strong as yours?
Sure.
So right there, the argument should have been over, right? Because she's like, yes, his faith is just as strong as mine. That's it. The conversation is over. She should have been, deconverted, walked away, okay, I'm done with this stuff, but it didn't happen. Why? Because even if you present these people with reason and logic, they don't go with it. But the important thing is to at least try, and that's what I do. I try.
We know that man is created after the image of God.
Your story says that, but you don't know that.
We do know that.
How do you know that?
Somebody has seen him.
Somebody has seen what?
God.
Who's seen him? Who's seen it?
Joseph Smith.
Okay, how do you know he's telling the truth when he said that?
Goes back to what I first said. I prayed about it.
The word know, how I know something, is a very big claim. It's a lot stronger than just I believe. When you say you know something, that means that's like a verified belief. So she just uses, these people are just using language that sounds good. And it sounds good, just like religious people like to use the word, truth. It sounds good to other people, so they use it. But they don't really understand it. And they certainly don't apply the correct meaning of it to what they're doing. So she's like, oh, we know that humans are made in God's image. I go, how do you know that? Because someone saw him. What? Saw who? God. I go, who? Joseph Smith. I'm like, how do you... So he wrote about it. Why do you believe in it? It goes back to what I said. And I talked to myself about it. What is that? It makes no sense. It's very important to just keep drilling down why they believe in what they... She doesn't want to answer these questions. She just wants to keep spreading her beliefs. But yet, without trying to be too annoying, you want to drill down to how do we know that? How do we know that? Because it's very important. We can't just go through life believing in things that we don't understand. That's not how we achieve knowledge. We don't understand the world by doing that. No.
So you heard a story, you believe what he said, and you justify it. You've talked to yourself, pretending to speak to this God thing that you know nothing about. And you think that is obtaining knowledge somehow.
I think that I don't want to argue with you.
You see how I just summed everything up for her? Everything she just said, the whole situation. I just try to do a quick list summary of everything. And it's just like, I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Help me. And this is where the white knight came in. He's like, oh, yeah, I need to help her. And, you know, she needs help. She's uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. She really shouldn't be out there having discussion with people if she's uncomfortable being challenged with the crazy things that she's saying that we should believe in.
Do you usually go around and heckle 20-year-old girls that are?
I don't care about your age. The fact that you're out here and you're defending this position, it doesn't matter your age. You're ready for a discussion if you're out here. So there's no reason to bring up your age.
It's not a discussion when you're arguing.
What's that?
It's not a discussion when you're just trying to prove everything wrong.
Oh, yes, it is. It very much is a discussion. Just because I'm bumping heads with you and trying to understand what it is that you believe in and what you're asking us to believe in doesn't mean it's not a discussion. It very much is a discussion. It's just not the kind of discussion you would want to have because you just want to brainwash people. You don't want to actually learn anything. I'm trying to understand the information you're giving me, right? I need to process it reasonably in my brain. So that's why I ask questions. It is a discussion. And then she goes on to think, she says, do you really go around trying to, mess with 20-year-old girls? What does your age and your gender have anything to do with what's going on here? You are trying to present me with some crazy belief in some God thing, all right? And you have absolutely nothing to show for it. And I'm hammering away trying to figure out why should I believe in any of this stuff. And to you, that's useless. But to me, it's everything. Because I'm not going to believe in anything that doesn't show to be true. And that's one thing that's very consistent with me. You're not going to see me promoting stuff on my channel that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, I don't really understand the whole Israel, Hamas, whatever thing that's going on over there. So I'm not going to go on making videos about it. And I'm certainly not going to listen to one little thing and then start spewing what I think is true without really knowing the truth. And so that's what I'm all about here. Right now, this is about God belief, but I'm applying that to all the things I believe in.
And it's okay that it's not enough for you, but it's enough for us. This is what we believe.
Right. But is that rational? But that's irrational, though.
It's my belief.
Right, but a belief can be irrational. Beliefs can be wrong. Just because it's your belief, just because you can have a belief, doesn't mean you should have one.
And herein lies the problem. She thinks, this other lady says, well, it's my belief. As if that trumps anything I'm saying. Like, oh, it's her belief, and then that's it. Like, she should just be able to have her belief. Like, yeah, she can have her belief, but the moment someone opens their mouth and expresses that belief, if it's a stupid belief, then we should be able to challenge them on it, right? It's then they then open up themselves to ridicule from the entire population in the world, right? So, but she thinks that apparently she can have her own belief and that's okay. Almost like saying, we all have our own truths. No, there's only one truth. Something is either real or it's not, right? She believes in something that she thinks is existing. But it either does exist or doesn't exist. One or the other, right? It can't be both, can't be neither.
What's your evidence that God doesn't exist?
The fact that there's no definition for it. We don't know what it is.
This doesn't really need too much explaining. You see this all the time when you challenge them on their beliefs. They're like, well, what's your evidence that there is no God? Stupid question. Just because I'm without belief doesn't mean I say there is no God. But it's important to this is very good to come back with. I'll give you a great tip. Whenever someone says that, and let's just say you did say there is no God. The best way to explain yourself in that situation is to be like, well, if I ever say there is no God, I can only say it with as much confidence as I can say that there is no Peter Pan or there is no Tooth Fairy or Tinkerbell, right? I don't have any evidence that Tinkerbell doesn't exist. I have no reason to think Tinkerbell does exist. Therefore, I'm going to dismiss it. And I'm even going to go so far as to say it does not exist. All right? I can't show that there is no Tinkerbell or no Tooth Fairy, but I don't have to. Because the positive assertion is saying that such a thing does exist. I am a skeptic. I am without belief. Will I ever say that there is no such thing, whatever we're talking about? Sure. But it's based on the complete lack of evidence and understanding of what we're talking about, which is why I do it. And it's just know that it's not logical to ask someone to prove a negative, which is what she just tried to do. They always try to do that. All right, guys, I just want to do a quick little video there and break down a little bit about what happened there. I think in my future videos, whenever I get across a preacher, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to break it up a little bit and do this throughout the whole video and give comments on what happened and stuff like that. My aim here is to try to give a little insight in how I think and how I went about conversations, if you guys find that at all useful. So until next time, peace.